Ladies and gentlemen, with this story, there's a lot to unpack here, and I'm thankful that people were already spreading the word about this story because there's really a lot of different ways that you can look at it. But first and foremost, let me say this. Let me bring this picture up because when I look at this, the first thing I think about when I look at this beautiful baby boy that you guys see on my screen is, to me, this signifies promise. This signifies, you know, the possibilities of what this child could have grown up to become. He could have become anything. He could have become the next president. He could have become a huge business owner. He could have changed the world. And unfortunately, the young man that you guys see on my screen would never get a chance to do that behind what I think may have been a negligent accident. I think those two words can actually go together. But before we get there, I'm probably going to say some things that might piss some of y'all off. So if you guys would, please adhere to this disclaimer that some of you guys might find my content offensive or controversial. My information is coming from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, and news websites. My video commentary also includes my opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to try to make sure that we don't end up in these situations again. Viewer discretion is advised, and that is your official disclaimer. I hate that I even have to do that. The story comes out of Georgia. I can't say that Georgia takes the L, but authorities continue to investigate the death of a 4-year-old who drowned on his second day of swimming lessons, learning how to swim. This is a nightmare for parents. I know it was a scary thing for me and my daughter's mom. Shout out to my daughter. Shout out to her mom. But we went through this as well, trying to teach my daughter how to swim. We took her to swim classes. So this is a very, very common thing. The boy was identified as 4-year-old Israel Scott, otherwise known as Izzy. Hashtag Izzy, right here that you guys see on my screen right there. Justice for Izzy. The autopsy revealed that little boy's cause of death was by drowning and determined the drowning was an accident. And I think the accident portion is really what's going to make a lot of people mad, because you're going to have people pointing to the swim instructor saying that she should have been held liable. She should be arrested. She wasn't paying attention. She was negligent. But listen to the story and let me know what you guys think. Let me also say thank you to WRDW.com for this particular article. Now, Israel's mother, by the name of Dory Scott, who is spelled D-O-R-I, Scott, and I know she has a Facebook page, so I was able to find some stuff there as well. She has discussed this matter on Facebook, offering some insights on what happened Tuesday at the residential swimming pool on Deer Run Road. Even before the drowning, she posted photos Monday on Facebook showing him and at least 5 other children near a pool and saying that it was his first day of swimming lessons. Let me see if I can find that. I don't know if I have that exact picture, but I know I have something close to it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Y'all bear with me, bear with me. I know this is one of them, but that one's kind of cut out just a little bit. I guess that's about as clear as it's going to get right there. But this one. He said he was a little nervous, she wrote. I signed my baby boy up for swim because he is really just starting to love the water, she explained on Thursday. And let me tell you guys this. That is what a responsible parent would do. That's what any of us would do if you care about your kids, right? She said, I chose who I thought would be a great fit for him to learn how to swim. But however, who would have thought that this would happen, she wrote. In announcing the incident Tuesday, Wild said deputies were notified at 11 a.m. that Izzy Scott had been found unresponsive. Wild said a nurse on the scene administered CPR and he was taken to a hospital. Deputies arrived after that. As far as who else was on the scene where the incident happened, that's among the information we're not receiving from authorities yet. Again, Scott offered some clues on Facebook. She said, and I quote from her Facebook, I, of course, did not want to leave him during the lesson, but I followed protocol and waited in my car for my baby to be done. So let me give you guys some insight. The mom wanted to actually stay there and be there to watch her kid do the swim class. Now, I don't know if that's the standard procedure because my daughter's mom actually took her to the classes. I remember showing up to one of them, but I was able to be in there. So I don't know how standard that actually is, if that's how all swim classes are. But I think if a parent wants to, like, I don't know, like if you ask me, and a parent wants to stay and see what you're doing with their small, vulnerable child, I don't have no problem with that. Maybe some of y'all can understand where I'm coming from. These are small babies in their swimming gear. If you ask me, if you bring your small children to something like this is not exactly daycare. I think that it is, and it should be appropriate for you to be able to watch your kids if you want to. But like I say, that's just my opinion. But she said that she was not allowed to. She was turned away and she was asked to wait in the car until they were done with the swim lesson. She said that I never thought the tap on my door, I'm assuming her window, the door of her car, would be one of the worst moments of my life. When we asked Thursday for an incident report, we were told it would not be released yet. Perhaps more than anything else about the case, we know of Scott's overwhelming grief. This pain I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, Scott wrote. To have your baby snatched away from you in a matter of moments is the worst thing in the world. Her posts feature heartbreaking galleries and videos of an energetic and happy boy. And I'm going to tell y'all, she had a lot of pictures and videos, but her and the dad did also. It looks like they're a happy married couple, but y'all know I'm always a big advocate for my married families. I think I had a picture of them together. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Uh-oh, not that one. Let me see. Yep, right here. Let me show you guys this. This is something that we don't get a chance to talk about very often. How often do I talk about the key to building solid children? Is building it on a solid foundation with the nuclear family, biological mother, biological father, raising their children under one roof. Right here. Beautiful looking family. They love each other, raising their babies together. So this is just really, really heartbreaking for a lot of different reasons. But I wanted to show you guys that. She said, my heart has been ripped out of my chest and I can't believe that I would never see my baby boy again. Cherish every moment with your babies and hug them tight because you never know. I would have never have imagined that I would only get to spend 4 years with my little man, she wrote on Wednesday. Let me see if I can skip a little bit more of this. Let me go to my next article. I'm going to get this from today.com. Let me see if they have something a little bit different. So they said on today.com, Izzy was very excited and nervous for his very first swim lesson. His mom, Dory, said that they chose a reputable instructor by the name of Lexie, Lexie, Tenhusen, I think. Her name is kind of weird, but her last name, the lady that you see right there on the right, Tenhusen, Tenhusen. So, so you guys can have that information. She is the operator of Swim with Lexie, who taught his big sister 2 years ago. On June 13th, Dory Scott said that she drove her son to his first lesson, a group class at a pool in Hebzib. Oh goodness, somewhere in Georgia, close to their home. I can't pronounce that. I'm sorry. I don't even want to mess that up. When she arrived, Dory said that she was told that the parents could not stay to watch the lesson to avoid distracting the children. I understood because I'm a hairstylist and I know that children can act differently when their parents are around. But I didn't want to leave my baby. Still, she waited in the car until the lesson was over. According to Burke County Sheriff's Office report reviewed by Today Parents, Dory Scott said that although Izzy had fun at his lesson, he was reluctant to attend the second class on June the 14th. And I'm pretty sure this is what really haunts the mother. The 4-year-old boy said to his mom, "What if I drown? What if I drown?" Izzy asked. His mom later told sheriff deputies, and she assured him that that wouldn't happen. But Dory Scott sat in her car during the second swim lesson. She said a parent knocked frantically on her window. She said, "Come check on your baby." I immediately lost it because I saw it in her eyes. I went to the gate and saw Izzy laying next to the pool unresponsive, said the mom. A parent was doing CPR, but he was limp. I said, "What happened?" And Lexi said, "I don't know," said Dory Scott. I felt like a dream, it felt like a dream, a mother's worst nightmare. Police and first responders arrived and took over life-saving measures, transporting Izzy to Burke Medical Center in Waynesboro, then Children's Medical Center in Augusta, Georgia. On June the 15th, which was just under a month ago, Izzy was declared dead as a result of an accidental drowning. Let's take a freaking step back. The mother asked her, the swim instructor, supposed to be instructing, supposed to be watching, supposed to be teaching. The mother asked her what happened. The swim instructor said, "I don't know." Accident my ass. I don't know is an unacceptable answer. How many of you guys agree with that? If you ask me, I don't know is an unacceptable answer. If you ask me, I don't know should be an arrestable offense in itself. That should be negligence in itself. I don't know. What the hell do you mean you don't know? What were you watching? How are you teaching swim class? Here's the thing. How are you teaching slim class? I almost said slim fast because she looks like she needs it. How are you teaching swim class to little babies and you are unaware of where every single child is? I don't know if they're getting ready to say it in this article, but I actually do have an answer to that. That's because this class, this so-called swim class, was only supposed to have a certain amount of children in the class. Her class, Tenhusen, her class was overpopulated. It was too many children in the class. Another thing, somebody actually asked this in the chat. Why wouldn't every child have on a life jacket? Now, this I definitely remember. When my child went learning how to swim, she had on a life jacket. How are you teaching children for the first time getting into this water like this, into this very dangerous situation? That should be mandatory that you have life jackets. You're teaching a class. That should be bare minimum, right? Shouldn't they have insurance? Shouldn't they have training that teaches them not only if you're going to be essentially doing like lifeguard duties, which is essentially what that is, right? You're watching them and teaching them at the same time. But it sounds like she wasn't watching because she said in her own words, quote, "I don't know." Not my words. If y'all want to go sue somebody, y'all might want to go sue today.com because that's coming from their website. They're quoting her as saying, she said, "I don't know." That, to me, is a problem in itself. But let me add this other portion to it. I don't even need the rest of this. I'll get back to it here in a moment. There were actually some people online, and I think this is flat out disgusting, that were trying to imply that this is like a racist thing. They're trying to imply that this situation, how their swim instructor was treated by the police, how she was investigated, their final conclusion on whether they felt like she was negligent or it was an accident. They're trying to say that this was a racial thing. Matter of fact, let me go back to this. Let me pull this picture back up. Got a lot of stuff happening on my screen here. close that. I can't show you guys the original picture, but I can show you a edited copy. There was somebody on Facebook who actually, yes, I did say, I said racist. Yes, y'all heard that right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. They made this flyer that said Lexi-Tenhusen, Burke County swim instructor, and they called her what they say? They said white privilege something. I don't remember what they said, like white privilege wins again or something like that. And they said she should face charges, negligent homicide, go viral, please support. And I was like, no, black people, please, let's not do this. Let's not do this. You know how they say the boy that cried wolf? You know what that actually implies? That means don't pull the racist card unless it is time to pull the racist card. This is not the time to pull that card. Let me explain why. Because if you're going to pull that, then you would have to have a reason and say that this woman didn't like black kids. Did she not like black boys? Did she not like that black boy? Because if that was the case, and she intended to do this because of her white privilege, allegedly, then why didn't she do this to this boy's older sister? According to their words, the older sister was taught how to swim by the same lady. Matter of fact, you would also have to ask how many other black children were in this swim class. How many other black children have been taught by this woman to swim? You would also have to ask how many other children have died from this woman teaching black children if you're going to make it a racist issue. What would be her motivation to do this? Which you would have to think that that'd be intentional. So she just said, oh, he's a black kid, I'm just going to ignore him. Knowing that if something happens to any of those children, that you could potentially face life in prison for negligence, face a number of years, you could lose your life, your career, you could die in prison for being in there so long if something happens to one of these kids. So you mean to tell me that she thought all of this through and said, yes, we're going to do this on purpose? I think that's flat out BS. This was not a racist thing at all. I think anybody who even insinuates that or posts it on Facebook is flat out dumb. That's just dumb, and it's irresponsible to do that. Let's go back though. Let's not miss what I said. It's not racist. It's negligent. Everybody understand the difference? I know the AFC does, so shout out to the AFC if you guys are typing in the chat. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Share the stream. Let more people know that we're talking about the story. If you would, please, just hit that thumbs up. All you got to do. This is not a racist thing. This is a negligence thing. And negligence can happen at any point in time. You've seen people get arrested for accidentally leaving their children in the car unattended, their children dying from heat exhaustion. That's negligence. You have children who have died in daycares from not being watched by the daycare teachers. That is negligence. Teaching a swim class and not watching your swim students, your babies. That is negligence. That is not racist. But I think it should be a punishable crime by way of prison time. I think she should be sued, and I think that she should face prison time. If you ask me, for an accident like this, if you ask me, I'd say give her double the amount of years that this kid was. He was 4 years old. Give her 8 years in prison and call it like that. That's really all you can do. Hell no, she didn't do this on purpose. That means she would have had to have had an incentive to do this. And I don't think that this woman had any incentive to do this at all. It was a flat out accident, but it's a negligent accident nonetheless. But let me give you guys the fair usage. I want to let you guys actually listen to the people. I have a video. Do y'all want to hear the video of some of the people? They were actually recording them on live. Everybody on live nowadays. But they had them on live video, and you can hear them talking in the background, talking about how this was racist. Stupidest crap I've ever seen. Let me give you guys a fair usage. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Oh, let me see here. They have changed my setup a little bit. Let me see. Y'all give me just a second. Let me see if I can figure this out.
Continuing now in Burke County, where a 4-year-old boy has drowned.
The child was taking swim lessons at a home when it happened. News Channel 6's Darnisa Jefferson is live at that home tonight.
Yeah, Jenny, he had just started taking swim lessons on Monday, and a day later he drowned during one of those lessons here. The Burke County Sheriff's Office responded to this home on Deer Run Road Tuesday and found the 4-year-old boy unresponsive in the pool. A nurse on scene performed CPR until EMA arrived, and the boy was taken to Burke Health, where he later died. We spoke to a neighbor today who says she's heartbroken.
I have kids of my own, so I know that the family's got to be devastated. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I don't have any words. I know people who have lost children, and it's horrible.
So far, no charges have been filed in this case, but the incident is still under investigation. Reporting live in Burke County, Darnisa Jefferson, WJBF, News Channel 6.
So let me put this video on the bigger screen. So if y'all want to see that, let me show you this. And I'm going to skim through it because it's about 30 minutes long. We're only going to watch maybe a couple minutes of this.
12.
Let me see if I can fix this a little bit. Make it bigger so y'all can see it.
12.
12, 6, and 12.
There you go.
6 times 2 is 6 times 0 is
Oh,
what?
thank you, baby. Oh,
All right.
thank you, Susan. You need to speak too.
I mean, 6 times what is what? Y'all saying 6. Okay, we've been getting a lot of questions on social media
Thank you, Kim.
comments
Oh, yes,
that we
no
should
problem.
just
Thank you.
forgive
Oh, excuse
and let
me.
her go and don't pursue this because it was just simply a freak accident. My question is for everybody, which are I must admit, say this, it's a minority. Because everybody knows that Izzy needs justice. But for the minority who thinks that we should just let this case go, I just have one question for you. Which one of your children would you like to sacrifice and put them in Izzy's place so you can show us how it's done?
Yes. That's right.
And let the church say,
Amen.
Amen. That's right.
all right, we're going to have a moment of silence, and then once we do that, I'll say release, and then we're going to release the balloons into the heavens. Vigil and memorial. But there is more to come. Stay tuned.
Just as long as we gather and come together. Is the public road in front of their house? We can't get on their property, but we can be in the public road. Absolutely.
We need to go to North Carolina and knock on her front door. Oh, there's somebody that I know.
Oh yeah, I heard she live in North Carolina too.
Wow, they're talking about showing up to this woman's house. Rip, man. Come on, y'all. No, you can't say that.
She called Burke County because she know the Burke County sheriff, and most of her affiliation is in Burke County, but her address is in Hesaba.
the sheriff prior to that, she been knowing since he was there for 36 years.
Absolutely.
And when she
So they're saying she's cool with the police and that's how she's getting off on this? Are you kidding me?
called out screaming, he offered to put police presence at her house. And she don't even live here. So
That's the point I'm making. Yeah, absolutely.
We need to go to North Carolina and knock on her front door. Oh, did somebody that
She said we need to go to North Carolina and knock on her front door. Come on, black folks. Come on. Damn. Thought we was making some progress in America. Man, we are taking 10 steps back, man. We got to stop doing stuff like this. I'm going to let y'all hear some more of it, though.
I know of?
Oh, yeah, I heard she live in North Carolina, too. And she got a house in Augusta.
It's about maybe 10 minutes away from the VA hospital in Asheville, North Carolina. I know exactly where it is in North Carolina. Yes. It's a 4-hour drive. Why is she teaching swim lessons here when she's been gone? She's been gone.
That's true. See, Burke County has two sheriffs. They got the sheriff of Waynesboro, they got the sheriff of Burke County, and they got the sheriff of Heseber. If she has a Heseber address, that's the valid question.
Yeah, who has jurisdiction in the area?
Absolutely.
County or the city?
Right.
And that matters.
Okay, so
The DA is the one that's up there.
Well, no, they.
who you want to interview, darling? Anybody want to interview? And grandma, they got grandma over there.
For our little Izzy, who by the way was already reading at 4, was already signing at 4. There's no deaf people in our house. So she's the pillar of community. She would understand. People do make mistakes in the community. For your deed. That's what
You be good, baby. Love comic books, action figures, and things of that nature. People coming at you line 99.9.
Oh, it won't for us. It's not about the money. We don't. It's not about the money.
Right.
It's about justice.
Absolutely.
And she needs to be held liable.
And accountable for what she did. Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
Period.
I totally agree.
And just know we won't stop.
We won't stop. Say something. Say justice for Izzy. Say it. Don't be hiding your face. Say that. Say something, King. Say justice for Izzy.
Justice for Izzy.
Why over there now did you even allow 8 or 10 children at once with no other assistance with you? You broke laws, but your sheriff, who you ran to and talked to the wife, and they told you, and you said to them, who I am, you knew you could do that if something happened because you would give.
Guys, I'm going to skip through some of this. The audio is really not that good. Yes. How many of y'all, how many black people do I got in the building right now? How many of y'all are thoroughly embarrassed by this? Oh my goodness.
So he had a family as strong as he has. Did you know that there will be people in the name of Jesus galvanizing behind us because you don't have the power because you put your faith in man? Do you know that that same old sheriff will reap what he sowed because the Bible says vengeance is mine, said the Lord, I will repay? Did you know that? Those are the questions I have for her.
You know what? If y'all want to watch the rest of this video, y'all can actually find this. Matter of fact, I might actually post it on my AFC Plus channel. I've had about enough of that. But I think you guys understand the gist of it. Oh, matter of fact, there is a little bit more I do need to talk about. Let me show you this. I do have a screenshot. Let me show you this. Give me a moment. Let's talk about this right here. Now, this is going to be a little bit hard for you guys to see because the print is really tiny. Actually, I could probably expand that a little bit more. I wish this program that I use would stop changing stuff. Damn. Let me see. They're always changing stuff. Let me see. that it? Let me see. Crop bottom. That's not working. That's not working. Oh well, so I have to worry about that another time. Y'all know y'all can't read this, but it is on Facebook. The mother posted it by way of the Burke County Sheriff's Office, so you guys can actually go to her Facebook page, Dory Scott, and you should be able to find where she linked the article to Burke County Sheriff's Office. She said, "How? I don't understand. Please explain this." Then the chaplain at Burke County Sheriff's Office had the nerve to tell my husband that he has another son. How insensitive. Hashtag justice for Izzy. I don't really know how to zoom in on that. I wish I could figure this freaking program out. But I can't. At least not right now. Let me see. Can I make it bigger like this? Nope, I can't. That's about as big as I can make that. Again, that's coming from the mother's Facebook page. She's claiming that the chaplain said this. She said, the chaplain at Burke County Sheriff's Office had some nerve to tell my husband that he has another son, saying, you have another child to worry about. Just let this go. And I'm going to tell you, if that's true, which I'm not so sure that it is, I think that might be a little bit of embellishment to try to get something more done because they didn't get the result that they wanted, because it looks like this lady is probably going to be able to walk away from this without facing any consequences. But I also don't believe that this person will make a statement like that, knowing the implications, knowing the type of climate that we're in right now, knowing that if you say anything that could be deemed wrong to black people, you could lose your career. It'll be all over the news in 2.5 seconds. Do I believe that the chaplain said that? No, I don't. I'm probably sure it probably went along the lines of, you know, well, shit, maybe he did say it. I don't know. I don't know. But I hope that he didn't. I really hope that he didn't. I don't know. But referring to the fact that you have another kid, that's not going to get you very far at all. But like I say, at this point, unless she has it recorded, it's just going to be he said, she said. So at the end of the day, but again, I think they're trying to turn this into a racist deal, in my humble opinion. I mean, no disrespect to the family, because I'm actually on you guys' side. But trying to turn this into a racist issue, I just don't think that's right. I think everything about that is wrong. But again, negligence on this lady's part is what she should be arrested for. This was clear negligence just from her answer alone. I don't know what happened, because you know what? You should have known, Tenhusen, or whatever her freaking name is, Lexi Tenhusen. You should have known what happened. You should have answers. Your eyes should have been focused on all of those children. If you had too many children in the class that you couldn't focus on all of them, then that shows that you probably had too many, which shows that you were probably being greedy, which shows that you were probably trying to benefit off of this situation by having a bunch of kids come in and make a profit. And I just don't like that, because that puts children in danger with stuff like this. That's where she should be arrested. That should be a very, very simple thing to do. But again, if they don't charge her, they're technically trying to show you guys that what she could be charged with doesn't fall under the guidelines of the law. I've read it, and I read what they wrote in their statement. Again, you'll have to look it up on their Facebook page. You're not going to be able to read this, but it's a really well-crafted letter from the Burke County Sheriff's Office. Like I said, you're not going to be able to read it, but it is there. Just go to their Facebook page, but they did post it. So you could take a look at it the same way that I did. But the justice needs to come in, that she needs to face consequences for not knowing what happened to this kid, maybe having too many children there at one time, more than what's allowed, more than what she could take care of in her class, that cost this baby boy his life. This beautiful young man could have grown up to become anything, and it's just really, really sad. And it really broke my heart. It almost broke me to tears just thinking about that, man. It's the worst way that you could lose a child or something like this. But to that young man, young Izzy, young Prince, R.I.P. Guys, we got to be way more careful about pulling this racist card. We got to call it when it's correct to call it. I don't think this is the moment for that. Hope the family understands where I'm coming from. If they do put up a GoFundMe, if you guys want to support that, I'm not against GoFundMe at all, but I just think that we should be more investing in children and their lives than in their deaths. I hate to see us put so much into a death and we don't put that much effort into a life. That's all I got to say about that. But nonetheless, I do hope they get justice, because I think that they are not being done right when it comes to not charging that lady for the negligence. All right, guys, this story is coming out of Minnesota. So this story is going to definitely have some rough details. So before we even get into anything, let me give you guys the disclaimer before we talk about the people that you see on my screen, that this story is going to have some content that you might find offensive or controversial. The information is coming from many different sources. My video commentary is also going to have my thoughts and opinions about the facts. I'm using this as a cautionary tale in hopes that this type of tragedy doesn't happen again. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. So let me show you guys the person that we're going to be mainly discussing right here. I got to tell y'all, this picture is very nice. It's a very nice picture. Very beautiful woman. I can't even deny that. Can't deny it. Real quick, let me give a shout out to my brother, Put It in the Air podcast. Not only did he donate in the super chat, but he also joined the channel membership. So brother, Big 8, man, definitely appreciate you. Put It in the Air podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe to him. Click on his channel, subscribe. Shout out to Put It in the Air podcast in the building. See if I can go back real quick. But it's hard to really say, because it's hard to judge a book by its cover sometimes. Very pretty girl. That doesn't mean that she's going to be a good mother or a good wife at all. So this is the mother with her husband who is now deceased. He ended up taking his life, but I'll tell you guys the story and tell y'all what happened to these children. So police found the body of a Minnesota woman believed to have committed suicide with all 3 of her children after she found her husband had reportedly killed himself by way of suicide. And I'm getting this article from dailymail.com, so Daily Mail, thank you for the article. The Vietnamese community Maplewood has been sent in an uproar over the incident, with family and friends identifying the woman as Molly Ching, Cheng, 23 years young. That's relatively young. She's a tattoo and beauty artist in the area. Ramsey County Undersheriff Mike Martin said that one of the children's bodies were found on Friday evening, with the body of the other 2 and the mom recovered by Saturday morning. Police said that all the kids, 2 boys and 1 girl, were all younger than 5 years old. And those are those babies right there. I don't know if y'all can see that picture. If I need to make it a little bit bigger, I think I can pay some respects to the kids. Let's see, let me get a... They didn't have a lot of clean pictures of them. I was able to find this one right here. Beautiful little kids, man. Beautiful little kids. I was also able to find this one. And it's just, you look at their faces and you ask, based on what they understand that the mother caused these children's death, what could have been going on so bad that you would want to hurt your children? It's just, man, it's just really, really sad. But let me tell the story. Ramsey County Undersheriff Mike Martin said that one of the children's bodies were found on Friday evening with the body of the other two and the mom recovered by Saturday morning. Police said that all the kids, 2 boys and 1 girl, were all under the age of 5 years old. The husband, who has only been named as KOS or KOS by his sister, Pa Lee or P.A. Lee, L-E-E, who shared news of her sibling's tragic death on Facebook. Ramsey County Sheriff Bob Fletcher said police are treating this as a potential triple homicide here at Lake Vadnais, V-A-D-N-A-I-S. Vadnais. I don't know how to pronounce that, so I'm not going to try. Let's keep going. A Maplewood Police Department spokesman said that around 4 p.m. on July the 1st, about 11 days ago, authorities were called to the lake as getting a report about a possibly suicidal mother who was on her way there with her children. So somebody suspected or heard something, called the police, which they did the right thing, but how much more time did they know about this? But you still really can't have, you really probably couldn't have been able to stop the mother for what she was going to do, but at least somebody heard something and they did at least reach out to the police. But Fletcher said that investigators determined that the children went into the water with their mother in an apparent murder-suicide, as the children's shoes and the mother's car was found close to the water. Police were able to track her cell phone to that location. Martin said that the first child's body was recovered at around 7:30 p.m. with a team of more than 20 law enforcement agents working through the night to uncover the body of the second child. By 10:40 a.m. on Saturday, police were able to recover the mother's body, and by 11 a.m., they found the third child. Our goal was to find the children and the mother and return them to their families, Martin said. Our hearts go out to the families and their friends. I've been in this 32 years, and this is the most difficult case, Commander Eric Brent added about leading this search. Officials confirmed that the horror unfolding at the lake is related to a suicide at Rolling Hills Estate Mobile Home Park earlier in the day. The man who committed suicide at the trailer park is the children's father and the husband to the woman. The sister of the children's father wrote on Facebook on the morning of the suicide, "Forever, goodbye, my nicest brother. Why are you making me so mad and sad at the same moment? I'm sorry that I'm 20 minutes late and cannot help you." She added, "I drive so fast to help you and to stop you, but I still failed. I'm sorry that I failed you in this life and was late to help you. If only I was faster, then you would be alive." I don't really know what any of that means. The father is identified in several social media posts as KOS by his sister, who posted a video showing large members of the Hmong community surrounding the lake staying close to the police as the search continued into the night. In a series of videos that were posted by family members, investigators revealed that the children's father committed suicide in his bedroom while wearing pajamas. I don't know why they needed to specify that. One of the videos shows the bedroom to be ransacked. A family member suggests that the father owned more than one gun and that he used the bigger one to take his own life. The Twin Cities area is home to the largest concentration of Hmong people in the United States. And again, that word Hmong or Hmong is H-M-O-N-G. That's the way it's spelled. They are the largest concentration of those people in the United States, with more than 66,000 calling the area home. Here's where I think the commentary might get a little bit difficult. And some of y'all might actually hate me for what I'm getting ready to say, but y'all know I got to say what I got to say. So here it is. I know the people are mourning this because not only are they a part of their community, they've probably watched these two young people grow up and start a family, and you think that they're going to just raise these children, they're going to end up being productive members of society and continue to grow their community. So for something like this to hit them is very, very, hard to deal with. Very tragic. I get that part about it. But for them to make it seem like this was a good mother and a good father and all of that good stuff, like, I don't know what made this man want to take his life the way that he did. If you ask me, I know that, a lot of us have dealt with some depression. I know a lot of us have dealt with suicidal thoughts. I've dealt with some of this type of stuff. But I think that suicide is probably the most selfish thing that you can do, is end your own life. It's a very selfish thing to do. That's first and foremost. Yes, what I'm saying, what the father did was selfish. I think suicide is selfish. Second thing I want to say is for the people that are in these videos and in their community that are saying that these were good parents, this is a good mother. If you ask me, I kind of disagree with that. That's why I disagree. That's why I step in and give my little bit of a difference of opinion. Because if y'all are going through something, then y'all go deal what y'all gotta go do and go deal with it. But why involve your children? Why drag your children into this? Why drag your children into that lake and then submerge them and kill them before you take your own life? I'm going to just take us all out. Leave the children. I'm pretty sure those children would have been perfectly fine with the rest of their community to be raised by someone else within their community if y'all were feeling suicidal thoughts. I know that's probably a hard thing for people to hear me say, but I still will never be down with the idea of hurting innocent children. They can't speak for themselves. They can't defend themselves. They can't make the decision for themselves. I think that these parents were selfish. And let me tell y'all how big of an asshole that I am. I don't know how to speak the Hmong language. I actually looked it up. I tried to type it in on Google Translate. I hate that I'm even telling y'all this. I really do. I typed in on Google Translate Hmong, and I wanted it to translate, "This is not a good mother. She killed her children." Because what I wanted to do, because maybe some of those people don't understand English, I wanted to make sure and tell them in their own language that she is not a good mother, she is a horrible person, and she murdered her children. And I was going to say it in the Hmong language, but I can't pronounce it. And Google Translate didn't actually, when I clicked the button to show me how to pronounce it, it didn't show me how, because it couldn't, because the way that you I'm sorry, y'all. I know some of y'all, I'm pretty sure about 250 people probably just unsubscribed. I'm so sorry. I'm just being real. Just being real. But the Hmong language, from what I understand, is a like how do they say it? Their language, I forget how they say it. It's like based on sounds, and how you say certain words can mean certain things depending on how you phonetically say it. Like it's got, like, I think they said like 7 sounds or 8 sounds or something like that. I forget how you say it. Yes, I was going to talk crap about this woman in their language. Because when you look, guys, y'all got to remember, I'm the AFC. We are the advocates for children. We put the adults way behind the children. Whatever they were going through, they could have did it and did it to themselves and not involve their children. I would have rather these people found these children in the house by themselves, be discovered alive, as opposed to what this woman just dragged these children into the lake and just submerged them like that. I just think that that's the worst thing that you could possibly do. It's the most selfish thing that you could do. And how can you say that you love your kids when you do some crap like that to your kids? And here's another reason why I say she's selfish. This mother cared more about her own love of her ex-husband. She loved him more than she loved her own kids. Don't get mad about what I said. Just tell me if I said something that was factually inaccurate. I'll give you guys the fair usage. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. If you guys are watching the video right now, if you would, do me a favor and click the thumbs up. I know some of y'all might not want to after what I just said, but if you would, share this video because we definitely want to share the memory of these babies. If nothing else, here we go. Let's get it.
A somber night along Vadnais Lake as a community gathers to remember 3 young children and their parents who passed away last weekend. The Ramsey County Sheriff's Office says it was a suicide, then a triple murder-suicide that took the lives of the family of 5. Fox 9's Mary McGuire spoke with family who are sharing their grief.
Those from the Hmong community and beyond came together to grieve and to heal at a vigil for an entire family now dead after a tragic series of events. Dozens gathered near the spot where children's shoes and the car keys of 23-year-old Molly Cheng were found last Friday on the shore of Vadnais Sucker Lake Park. The parents of those lost spoke through a translator with the Hmong 18 Council, a nonprofit organization started to help the Hmong community after another heartbreaking event when a mother killed her 6 children in St. Paul in 1998.
And I would like to thank each and every one of you guys again from the bottom of my heart. I do not know what to say to the community at this time because it is such a heartbreaking event for me. My grandchildren has always lived with me up until this point, and I do not know what to do anymore.
The Ramsey County Sheriff's Office says Cheng drowned her 3 children in the lake before taking her own life last Friday, in the hours after her husband, Yi Lee, shot and killed himself. Social workers were called in to help Cheng and her kids, but ultimately left them in her care. Family members quickly became concerned she would hurt herself and her children and called the authorities, who were able to track her cell phone to the lake. The bodies of all 4 were recovered from the water. Molly's father says after Lee was found dead, authorities took the time to make sure their dog was taken care of, and he wishes they would have intervened further with his daughter.
I believe that if the police took action like they took action to save the dog, and they took action to save Molly and the 3 children, that they would still be alive today.
The Ramsey County Sheriff's Office says they are continuing to investigate the circumstances surrounding this tragedy to provide further clarity and closure to the family. Reporting in Vadnais Heights, Mary McGuire, Fox 9.
A somber night along Vadnais Lake as a community gathers to remember 3 young children and their parents who passed away last weekend. The Ramsey County Sheriff's Office says it was a suicide, then a triple murder-suicide that took the lives of the family of 5. Fox 9's Mary McGuire spoke with family who are sharing their grief.
Those from the Hmong community and beyond came together to grieve and to heal at a vigil for an entire family now dead after a tragic series of events. Dozens gathered near the spot where children's shoes and the car keys of 23-year-old Molly Cheng were found last Friday on the shore of Vadnais Sucker Lake Park. The parents of those lost spoke through a translator with the Hmong 18 Council, a nonprofit organization started to help the Hmong community after another heartbreaking event when a mother killed her 6 children in St. Paul in 1998.
And I would like to thank each and every one of you guys again from the bottom of my heart. I do not know what to say to the community at this time because it is such a heartbreaking event for me. My grandchildren has always lived with me up until this point, and I do not know what to do anymore.
The Ramsey County Sheriff's Office says Cheng drowned her 3 children in the lake before taking her own life last Friday, in the hours after her husband, Yi Lee, shot and killed himself. Social workers were called in to help Cheng and her kids, but ultimately left them in her care. Family members quickly became concerned she would hurt herself and her children and called the authorities, who were able to track her cell phone to the lake. The bodies of all 4 were recovered from the water. Molly's father says after Lee was found dead, authorities took the time to make sure their dog was taken care of, and he wishes they would have intervened further with his daughter.
I believe that if the police took action, like they took action to save the dog, and they took action to save Molly and the 3 children, that they would still be alive today.
The Ramsey County Sheriff's Office says they are continuing to investigate the circumstances surrounding this tragedy.
3 young children and their parents remembered tonight after a tragic series of events led to all of their deaths. The family from Maplewood were all discovered dead last weekend. You may remember the 3 children and their mother were found in Vadnais Lake. Tonight, their loved ones gathered near where they were found for a vigil. Our diva.
The Hmong community came together tonight to honor the memory of a family with a tragic ending. Dozens brought flowers and lit candles for the 3 children and their parents who all died a week ago on July 1st. The father, Yi Lee, died by suicide. The mother drowning her 3 children and herself in Vadnais Lake. Our Marielle Mose spoke to the surviving family for the first time.
Through an interpreter, the father of 23-year-old Molly Chang shared his emotional struggles over losing his daughter, son-in-law, and 3 grandchildren.
My grandchildren has always lived with me up until this point, and I do not know what to do anymore. I'm heart-stricken, and it hurts so much that I do not know what to say to the community.
This memorial was held deep into the woods around Vadnais Lake. The reason the family chose the spot is because the 3 children's shoes were found on the shores there on July 1st. Yer Tao, the mother of 27-year-old Yi Lee, who died by suicide, vocally grieved in front of the pictures of her 3 grandchildren, 5-year-old Phoenix, 4-year-old Quadrillion, and 3-year-old Estella. Other family members and friends laid flowers and candles by the shoreline.
This tragedy has struck me and my grandchildren.
Look, I know I talk about black people naming their kids some wild stuff. I have never heard of a child named Quadrillion. Am I wrong? Have y'all heard that before? Is that a cool name? Is it unique? Is it I don't know what you call that, Quadrillion? And I looked at that and I was like, is that really his name? Quadrillion, okay.
It makes me really stressful, and it makes me sometimes to the point when I'm so shaky that I don't know what to do anymore.
Well, the pain from these losses will never go away. The grandparents feel uplifted by all the support of their Hmong community and hope their story inspires others who may be struggling to get help before harming yourself and others.
I am relying on my friends and my family and the community at such dark times.
In Vadnais Heights, Marielle Mose, WCCO 4 News.
And if you or someone you know is struggling, please call or text the numbers on your screens.
Through an interpreter, the father of 23-year-old Molly Chang shared his emotional struggles over losing his daughter, son-in-law, and 3 grandchildren July 1st. Members and friends laid
Okay, that video sound is not that great, so I'm going to go ahead and skip it, but it's a little bit more of the same of what they were discussing. They're just pretty much just mourning the loss, and I get that because, like I said, you know, that they feel like that's a part of their community, their family, maybe related in some type of way. But in my humble opinion, the actions that this woman took against her own children, regardless of what her husband did, does not absolve her from what she did. Here's one thing that nobody on the internet is going to call her. Y'all want to know what that word is? Outside of being a bad mother or being a selfish mother, y'all want to know the one thing that they did not refer to her as? Let me hearken back to some of the other stuff that I talk about. I'm not going to turn this into a race thing, but I will say that there is definitely a difference in how the news and media describe certain things, and sometimes it seems to have a little racial connotation to it. But let's just say if this were mom's boyfriend and he turned around and took the kids and went and drowned them and then drowned himself, you caught it. They would have called him a murderer. They would have said this was a murder-suicide. Notice how they didn't say that. They didn't call her a murderer. And I wonder, why not? Is that not what she is? Is that not what she did? Now, the father who killed himself, what do you call that? A suicide. You don't call that murder. He killed himself. Suicide. Self-inflicted. When the mother decides to kill her children because she's heartbroken or whatever effed up reason you want to come up with or rationale, psychologically, she was depressed, I don't really give a damn. This should be classified as this mother murdered her 3 innocent, beautiful children. She's a murderer, and she should be labeled as such. She's not a good person at all, regardless of how she felt about her husband, because if you felt that strongly about your husband and not your kids, then you shouldn't have had kids in the first place. Ma'am, mong. And that's just real talk. Because here on our channel, the Advocates for Children, we put children first, and they should be our #1 priority. To sit there and say that her love caused her to do this is absolute bullcrap, because you could look at a bunch of other situations and say, well, oh, these thugs out here killing these women whenever these women break up with them because they love them so much. But you still call them a murderer, and you still would try to throw the book at them if they were able to get in front of a judge. So I don't think this should be any different. To leave her legacy as a heartbroken mother, I think is flat out BS. I don't feel sorry for her. I don't feel sympathy for her. I feel sympathy for those children who deserved every opportunity to grow up and be something great. Could have been left with the grandparents, could have been left with cousins, could have been probably left anywhere in that community, and somebody would have picked those kids up and took perfect care of them. This is flat out selfish. That's all it is. But let me know what you guys think. I can almost guarantee you that nobody is going to have that type of thought, that type of commentary on this story. You go and look on YouTube, I can almost guarantee you're not going to find it unless it's after me saying it. I'm going to show you guys something else. When I say selfish, how about this? While they was living in the trailer park, and look, I'm not too good to be living in the hood, because look, I ain't got the nicest place by no means. But I think it's wild how they were living in what they refer to in the article as a trailer park. It's fine. You do what you got to do. As long as the kids are okay, kids are healthy, kids are clean, kids are learning, well taken care of, do what you got to do. They put up a GoFundMe, Chong Lu, that says Chong Lee. Chong Lee, Chong Lee. If y'all ever watch Bloodsport, y'all know where that comes from, Bolo Young, Chong Lee. That literally says Chong Lee. You can't get more stereotypical than that. So Chong Lee put up this GoFundMe. Ooh, I didn't even notice this before. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Guys, I did not make this up. Where is my trusty whiteboard? Let me see if I can break that out real quick. Jesus. Oh, man. Let me see if I can get me some good colors up here real quick. If y'all will to take a look right here, y'all can actually go look this up yourself. C-H-O-N-G is what? Chong. L-E-E is what? Lee. Chong Lee. So Chong Lee set this GoFundMe up. Funeral expenses. Let me ask you guys this. If they were living in a trailer park, why should they get, I don't know, like, it just seems like if this community really cared about these people that much, maybe I guess they would have upgraded them while they were alive, as opposed to them being depressed and end up taking their lives. put $125,000 into the ground, investing into a funeral, but y'all wouldn't invest in these people's houses. You wouldn't have took that $125,000 and got them a nice house. Huh? Y'all wouldn't have bought them a house and a vehicle with $125,000, but y'all would give them the world's most awesome funeral ever. Ain't that something? $125,000, and they've already collected $16,000. So it looks like they're well on their way to collecting. I'm just saying, if you're going to put up $100,000 GoFundMe, you might as well put up $1 million GoFundMe. You might as well just go all in. See, just see what you can squeeze out of the deaths of these children. No pun intended. We won't invest in life insurance, but we will make sure to invest in an amazing death to say all kinds of wonderful things after you're dead. Do you know how they use the colloquialism when they say give you your flowers while you can smell them, right? That means to show people you love them when they're alive. We do more for dead people. I can almost guarantee you that people are going to maybe not everybody. Let me slow down. Slow my roll. But when I die, I can almost guarantee you there will be a couple of people that are going to say some amazing things about me that they wouldn't tell me while I got breath in my body. Isn't that something? And some of y'all can relate to that because it's probably going to happen to y'all too. You're going to get people that tell you that they love you, they miss you, they wish they could have spent more time with you, wish they would have called you, wish they would have went to go eat with you, wish they would have pulled up to your house and went to go watch a movie with you. They want to do all of that stuff while you're dead, but don't want to do it while you're alive. That's my only problem with GoFundMe. That's it. I'm not against donations. I'm not against GoFundMe. What I'm saying is that it seems like we always jump on board to fund something when we could be funding life and not death. We could be funding the living as opposed to funding and putting money into the ground. It's not going to make those people feel any better. But I think maybe for some of them, it might make them morally feel a little bit better. But hopefully everybody understands what my stance is on that. I just had a lot to say, and I hope y'all will listen with an open mind as well as an open heart on that thought, okay? But thank y'all so much. R.I.P. to those 3 beautiful little babies. So, R.I.P.